Hello everyone, welcome back to Churton Park Pianos. Sorry it's been a while, I've not made a video for a long time. Today what we've got is a Welmar, which is a British brand. They were really good pianos back in the day. This one is a 1958, so it's getting on a bit, but it's in good condition. I bought it off a lady who had some original paperwork with it and a little bit of history, some old receipts for the tunings that were done in the past. In 1967 it was brought, so it would have been 9 years old, for $540 from Piano Traders. I don't know if they're still around. I think they are. I'm not 100% sure. And then yeah, a couple of receipts, $68 for a tuning back in 1995, and then 1999 another tuning. So a little bit of history, and this is the original brochure. Welmar pianos, model A2. Yeah, nice to see, isn't it? So she's not played it for a long time. And you can tell because so it sounds like it's underwater, or like a really honky-tonk kind of sound. It's really out of tune. Let's see how far out of tune it is by using my trusty app. Piano 2, if I press A, so we are... It's struggling to even register it, but it says it is half a tone out. So it's sitting between G, when I press A, it's sitting between G sharp and A. So, yeah, it's a little bit off. And yeah, I think I'm going to bring it back up to concert pitch, which is A440. But once tuned up, these sound really great. So, as you can see, it's not had a service for a long time because there's keys that are not responding very well. This one was just sticking them in. There you go. And there's a few down here. They were sticking a minute ago as well. But anyway, the whole thing, it's hard to explain, but the whole thing just feels lumpy and horrible. So it needs a really good service. So I'm going to take all the keys out like I normally do, lubricate and vacuum under there. I'm sure there's loads of debris and rubbish down there. The inside. Is looking quite tidy. You can see the wear on the hammers a little bit, but I will reshape those as well and take the action out and again give it a good blowout with the air compressor. Get rid of any debris. But everything else looks pretty good. The tuning pins are, they've not been driven into the pin block. That's what you do if the strings, if the pins are not tight, you can drive the pins in a little bit just to get more of a grip, but that looks like it's not been, that's not happened on this piano. All the strings are present, there's no rust. So yeah, so it's quite tidy. as I say, Welmars, they sound lovely when they're all tuned up. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this piano and we'll get it almost to its former glory without spending too much money on it or time. That's a nicer angle, isn't it? Okay, so the first job is going to be to dismantle. So the front panel comes off. Put that here. And the fall comes off in one piece. Alright. Just 3 bolts holding the action in. Sometimes there's just 2. And then sometimes the action is actually screwed in the middle. Sometimes I forget about that and take these bolts off and try and pull the action out, and it's, why is it so stuck? And it's because there's a screw down there, so just be careful. Okay, so nothing else is attached, so this should just come out. There you go, so it's in pretty good condition. I mean, just a little bit of dust. All of the loop return cords are good, which is the little bit of material holding the spring. Just there, I did a video of me changing all the loop cords on a Yamaha on a previous video. Okay, all right. Yeah, so it all looks good. Soundboard is free from any damage or cracks. Tiny little bit of rust on this string, which I can clean off. It's coming off when I scrape it with my nail. That's all good. So all the tuning pins look good. None of the strings look like they've been replaced, so everything's original. If you use spider webs. Alright, so the next job is to take the keys out. Sometimes this bit of wood that goes over the keys is actually attached to the fall. It all comes off in one piece. But this one is just a couple of screws holding it in. Just lifts away. So the felt that goes over the keys looks pretty clean. I'm going to keep that as well because that's original. Like to keep things as original as possible if I can. Okay, so these keys have got this like angle on them. Most of the time they're just straight, but this one's got a little bit of an angle, which is no big deal. And the plastic that's on the top on these Welmars is always nice and bright white. You get like some pianos, the plastic discolors. It goes like a horrible yellow, but these ones are really nice and white. See what we have under the keys, what treasures we can find. There's got to be a coin, there's always a coin or a guitar pick or something like that. Come on, there's got to be a point. There's got to be something, come on. Anything. Come on. It looks really clean under here actually. This has been done before. Not like on a piano on a previous video, there was a dead mouse under the keys, asleep in its nest. Okay, so there is nothing. I mean, there's not a lot of dust at all. To say that this has been done previously, which is fine. And there's no rust on the pins or anything. They look really clean. They're nice and smooth. So yeah, it just needs a bit of a clean really under here. Let's have a look under behind the bottom panel. Again, it's a little bit dusty, but this has been serviced. Somebody has been looking after this piano, which is always great to see. Yeah, so not a lot needs doing to this one. Yeah, it's all good. I'm going to get the vacuum out and give it a good clean. Alright, so as I say, the pins that the keys rest on are free from any rust. Sometimes when you get like a spillage, these can get quite rusty, which then makes the keys sticky. But these are all good. So there is some lubricant that you can buy, like especially for pianos, but I find that good old WD-40, this can's rubbish, bit of WD-40 on a rag does a good job of cleaning the pins. Alright, so I've got the action in my workshop now, excuse the mess. So, a couple of issues that I'm going to address now is the hammer alignment. So you can see there's a couple of hammers, there's one there that's not quite straight. So the way to remedy that is you have to go underneath here with a screwdriver, and then just behind the whip in there is a screw, so you loosen that and then you put the hammer where you want it and then you tighten the screw. It's really quite straightforward once you've done it a couple of times. So we've got one hammer there, they're okay, and then there is a hammer here which is very close. And then that one could do with moving over just a little bit as well. And then it's pretty good up until that one, which is almost touching. That could be the cause of the sluggish key. Excuse me. So I'm going to straighten the hammers, and then you can see the little grooves left by the previous playing. So they're not mega deep, but I'm just going to round off the hammers a bit more to get rid of those grooves, basically. There's one other thing as well. Oh yeah, when I picked up the action, where is it now? Just here. That's loose, and there's a screw behind there that just needs tightening. And then some of the back checks are quite off. So when it sits on the keys, they're probably going to be a lot straighter than this, but these pins here holding the bridle strap or the bridle tape just needs a small adjustment. So there's a couple of adjustments that I need to do down there. The back checks, I'll adjust those when they're in the piano, because I don't want to mess it all up. Put it, sort of try and get them straight and then put it in the piano, and it's not working very well. And then there's just lots of dust that's just gathered on the mechanism, which I'm going to use the air compressor to clear out. And then I've got some dry lubricant spray as well, which I'm just going to put on all the joints. So there's a joint there that's for the jack, and then there's another joint for the actual hammer, which is there, and then there's a joint for the dampers, and then there's a joint underneath. So I'll lubricate all of those. And that is it. That will make the piano play so much better, so much smoother. And then tuning it will be the last job. All right, so let's straighten these hammers a bit. So I'll start with this top one. So the screwdriver goes to the screw that's behind the jack. You have to kind of fish the screwdriver in, and then you kind of just gently move the jack to the side. You can actually take the whole whipping assembly off to get better access, but in the interest of saving time, I'm just going to do it this way. And then once you've got your screwdriver on the screw, you can kind of feel it there, so it's jammed. So I'm just going to loosen it, move the jack over a bit past where I want it, and then screw it back together. And as easy as that. So there was another one here, so I'll do this one. Undo, move it over a bit, tighten it, and that is better. And then there was one here. Oh, I've done too much now. Perfect. And then there was the one last one down here. Done. All right, so So now they're all in line, pretty much. That was it. What's that take? A minute. So that's that job done. So what was the next one? It was the grooves in the hammer, in the hammers. So there's a couple of ways of doing this as well. So you can have, you can stick some sandpaper onto a thin piece of wood like this and then use that, or in the past I used a nail file. Anything flat really, because you don't want the piano, the hammers, the ends of the hammers to be rounded. So anything that's got a flat surface. So these are sanding blocks from Timu. They're not that great. They don't last very long, but for this job they do. So I've got an 80 grit, and I'm just going to do 4 or 5 at a time, and I'm going to bring the block round while rubbing it. I'm going to do it a bit faster than this obviously, but I'm just going to keep going until those grooves in the hammers have virtually gone. They're not that deep, so I don't need to take too much material off. But yeah, I'm just going to get rid of these grooves. So I'm going to crack on with that now. It's still a little bit visible, the grooves. You just got to be careful with the top notes because there's not a lot of felt. I don't want to go through it, that'd be annoying. But the rest of it, I've taken out those grooves. It looks a lot better, and the hammers are nice and straight as well. Okay, so the next job was, oh yeah, this little loose piece here is just the screw there. Is it a flathead? Yes, of course it is. There you go. That job done too. So I'm going to warm up the air compressor and give it a good blast. Then lubricate it, put it back in the piano, make sure it's all working, and then give it a tune. Okay, so the action has been sorted. It was sorted already, but we sorted it even more. So I've got some dry glide spray, which is it says contains PTFE. In New Zealand, CRC is the company that I use, or This is available. I think you can buy the WD-40 PTFE as well, depending on where you are. I mean, shop around. I think it all does the same stuff anyway. There's not a lot left in this can. I need to buy some more, but there's going to be enough to just give the whole action a bit of a spray. So we'll start at the bottom and just spray underneath where the whipping connects to the frame of the action here, and just give it a quick spray like that. And then I'm do the joint where the dampers connect to the frame. So that's that joint, and then the other joint is going to be the actual hammers. So with the hammer joints, you have to kind of spray in between the dampers. So you just kind of just do a few angles. Just to get it in there. And then the last joint I'm going to do, if I swing this round, is the joint where the jack meets the whipping. There's a little spring there as well, so you could just get in there. Just go in at 2 angles if you can. And then once they're all done, then I just kind of twist the action there to get everything moving. And then once it's in the piano, I'll press the keys multiple times as well, just to get everything moving. But just while it's just been applied, just get this done. Give it a shake, not too hard. Just get everything moving. Alright, that's cool. So leave that there. So I've cleaned the pins already. Normally I just put a bit of dry lube on there as well, but because the pins are nice and smooth and clean, there's no need. So I'm going to put the keys back in. Makes so much tidier now. In that tune. Right, okay. Okay, so the last job is, well, the next job, I say, is to tune it, get it up to concert pitch, and then the case is in really good condition. There's a couple of little marks, but I've got, can't remember what it's called now, furniture restorer or something. It's in a little can. Which I'm just going to rub all over the piano and then wipe off, and brings it back to life. Then it's finished. So, because the piano's off key and out of tune as well, the way that I do it is I bring all the strings just past concert pitch. So I don't know if you can see that, but that is just, it is just above A440. So as you go up the piano, you can't just tune it to what the tuner says with every key, because it just will sound awful. It needs to be higher up on this end and then just a little bit below where I am on this end. So you're kind of gradually bringing it up to where you want it to be, and then you tune it again, a fine tuning, shall we say. I mean, it doesn't take as long as doing just a regular tuning all through, but it will sound okay once I've done it, but just to get it sweet, I always do it twice. So bring it up to where it should be, then just a fine tuning. Some tuners call it a pitch raise. If you're raising the pitch, they come and do it, and then they'll probably come back a week later or so and then just do it again. So yeah, everyone's got their own methods, but this works quite well for me. The piano is going to be all ready to go today. So that's what I'm going to do, bring it up and then fine tune it. And also when you're tuning, you go past where you want to be and bring it down. Don't just go up and then stop, because then it will just revert pretty quickly. So you go past where you want to go and then just bring it back a little bit. This hammer is bobbling, so I'm just going to raise the capstan just a little bit. So raising the capstan is unscrewing. So anti-clockwise. Let's go for about a quarter. Bobble gone. Right, so I've done the middle section here. Well, brought it up to pitch anyway. I still need to fine tune it obviously, but it sounds. So yeah. Yep, so I'm going to carry on with that and fine tune it. And then once it's all finished, I'll get right back to you. Right guys, I've tuned it and it sounds pretty good. It needs fine tuning, but I think I'm probably going to do that when I sell it. I think it's good enough, it sounds good enough now for people to come and try it. And yeah, they get a pretty good feel of what it plays and what it sounds like. And then I fine tune it before I deliver it. So just saving a bit of time, but Brilliant. Okay, let's give the case a quick tidy up. There we go then, guys. I've given it a clean and it's playing very nicely, and it smells lovely because I used a furniture polish that's got lemon in it, so it smells really fresh. Anyway, this is a lovely piano. Welmar is a good brand. It's slightly older, but it's got lots of life left in it. Let's go from this angle as well. Yeah, so if you live in New Zealand, if you look on Trade Me, which is the equivalent of eBay and Craigslist here in New Zealand, you will see it for sale. There we go, another one rescued and I wouldn't say refurbished, but it's been serviced and tuned and it's playing really great. Make a nice piano for somebody, nice piece of furniture as well. So anyway, so if you like what I do, you can like and subscribe, leave comments. I'll try and read all the comments. If there's anything that you want me to include in the next video, then I'll try. There we go. Welmar 1958 upright piano. Until the next one, guys. See you later.